Hey y'all, welcome back to Twin Oaks Family Farm in Southeast Ohio, USA. Thanks for joining us on Twin Oaks Farm Poultry on YouTube. This is November 16th, 2024, and we're doing a show and tell and share Saturday on the farm. Thank you so much for joining us. So, want to show you two very different kinds of birds at exactly the same age. And I think you'll really be amazed at the difference in their growth pattern, which impacts the difference in their size. So what we're looking at here is a group of Rhode Island red pullets. So these chicks are all females, young female hens, not mature enough to be at the point of lay yet, are referred to as pullets. So this is a group of about 60 Rhode Island Reds overall. And Rhode Island Reds are a well-established, well-preserved line of genetics that are reliable and consistent egg production chickens. So when these birds get to be about 5 months old, they'll be included in our egg production flocks. And for now, we're just feeding them and keeping them warm and keeping them safe and giving them time to grow. They were hatched October 23rd, 2024. Today's November 16th, 2024. So these birds are 25 days old, okay? So there's actually, like I said, there's a group of them. Okay, so there's about 60 in this space. So look over on the other side of the wall. And it's cool that there, just for that moment, we did get two different kinds of birds in the same frame. But right now we'll just have to focus on these. These are Cornish rock cross meat chickens. So they are very different from the little birds that you just saw. These birds are hybrids, really, and they're a very specialized hybrid. And it's not a hybrid that can be arrived at in a first generation. It's a hybrid that takes multiple breeds and multiple generations to produce, okay? So these birds have been really specialized just through selective breeding for poultry production. Now, what's amazing here is that the little birds you saw to start with and these birds were all hatched on the same day and are exactly the same age, even though they are very different sizes. Very different sizes. So these were also hatched October 23rd, 2024. These are 25 days old, and they are in production for poultry. But isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? A chicken isn't just a chicken. Chickens can be very specialized for egg production or for meat production. And there are chickens that are considered dual purpose breeds that you could raise and keep for a while for egg production, and then possibly go ahead and harvest for meat production after they've grown and gotten bigger. In fact, Rhode Island Reds can be a heavy-bodied breed that can, in fact, sometimes be somebody's preference as a heritage breed chicken for harvesting for meat later on. They would not be our preference, and they would not be our recommendation. If you wanted to raise some chickens for meat, we wouldn't recommend a heritage breed that's well known for egg production. Really, for meat production, the type of chicken that we would recommend is definitely these Cornish rock cross meat chickens. Looky here, it must be time to go eat. It must be chow time. We would recommend these for meat production simply because they can start, grow, and finish for meat production so incredibly quickly. So really, truly, within about 6 weeks, you can start, grow, and finish these birds to be ready for processing into poultry. Now, we'll finish show and tell and share with this, and this is kind of a treat to get to see this. These are some finished meat birds. So they're actually making their way over here to their heat lamp and to their food and to their water. And you can see they're large, but they get around really well, very agile. Their legs are sturdy. They have figured out their point of balance and their center of gravity to be able to accommodate their size and their their confirmation, I guess, is a word that'll describe what I'm trying to say there. But so they wanted to eat. They're going to utilize their heat lamp overnight. They're going to get some water. And those finished birds that I just showed you are the very same kind of birds as these. Now we'll grow these out to about 42 days old. And we would have grown these out to only 42 days old, but they were actually slow growers when they were in production with their flock. So when they were in production, they'd have been hatched around the beginning of September. I think September, I don't know exactly the day now, but it was around the first week of September probably. So they are now pushing like 10 weeks old, or maybe a little over. Normally, we would never keep meat birds here over 6 weeks, but they were slow growers. So when they were in production with their flock, we basically pulled them out of meat production and out of their flock. We didn't take them to the processor when their flock went, and we opted instead to keep them on farm and, as I mentioned, pull them out of meat production for what we produce for clients, but we're basically finishing them out for household chicken. So these are going to be our Thanksgiving birds. That'll be our Thanksgiving birds, but they are the same kind of chickens as these. And in just a few short weeks, these birds are going to grow so much. We're not going to finish them, let them get quite to the size that those birds are that you just saw. But these are going to be finished meat birds that will, after they're butchered and processed, we'll expect to produce from them about a 4.5 pound whole chicken in the freezer and for preparing for eating at the table. Okay, so these are meat chickens. They're 25 days old. This is cool. I think we can get both in the screen. So on the right are meat chickens at 25 days old, and on the left are some egg chickens at 25 days old. I mean, it's just amazing, the different growth pattern and the difference in size. I'm going to try to, hopefully they'll stay right there. Look at the difference in their sizes. 25 days old, exactly the same age. The one on the left is a Rhode Island Red female. And the one on the right is a Cornish Rock Cross meat chicken female. Okay? Amazing size difference. But that's what makes these Cornish Rock Cross meat chickens just a superior meat chicken. They can grow rapidly as they get into the finished stage of their growth. They convert feed to meat very efficiently, and they distribute it onto the chicken breasts and the drumsticks and the thighs, and they're just a premium meat bird. But if this is something you would ever want to raise on your own for your household, you can raise Cornish Rock Cross meat chickens and produce poultry, and you can raise Rhode Island Reds or another type of egg production breed and produce your own eggs. And you can actually produce wonderful protein for your household. If you don't want to raise it yourself, you can always connect with a farmer, and we do hope that you'll seek out farmers, ranchers, and producers wherever local is for you, and Heart Local Ag by sourcing some or a lot of your food directly from the farmers and ranchers who produce it. I don't know if you've heard the statistic, but like less than 2% of the American population is actively involved in agricultural food production in modern times. Back in revolutionary times, like 1776, about 90% of the people were directly involved in agriculture, and now it's less than 2%. Isn't that amazing? So anyway, so we always want to encourage people with our initiative, Heart Local Ag, which is just our way of saying seek out farmers, ranchers, and producers wherever local is for you and source some of your food from them. So the next time we visit the chickens, we'll talk about why the meat chickens would be choosing to stay in that space under the heat lamps when they have all of this space that they could branch out into. And we'll talk about the different instances in which they would choose to use that space or choose to use this space. And we'll talk about our feed system, and we'll talk about what this barn is sized to hold for production. So thanks for joining us, y'all. God bless you, and take care.